Going over to the political part podcast, Democrats introducing a multi-trillion-dollar reparations bill and going viral on the social media. Now, this is brought to us thanks to End Wokeness, in which he says, quote, breaking House Democrats introduced multi-trillion-dollar reparations bill to, quote, eliminate the wealth gap between whites and the blacks, unquote. And without too much further ado, to their credit, they do have some nice, moderately nice card stock type of flyers or poster boards. They're printed. They're not just, they didn't just go to the Hobby Lobby and do it themselves. They legit printed some of these sayings.
A duty to.
Although, maybe I'm speaking too soon. Maybe she'll give us some very articulate reasoning on why this is, totally not morally bad or, constitutionally bad or ethically bad. Maybe she's going to, or maybe she has some good reasons. Obviously not, but we'll hear what she has to say.
A duty to repair. So let's make it clear. There is a debt that does.
And people say I speak fast. I mean, geez Louise. I joke that I usually speak faster than Ben Shapiro and more awkwardly than Joe Biden trying to climb upstairs, but you might have to, maybe I'll have to do a slowdown after she reads it the first time.
A duty to repair. So let's make it clear. There is a debt that does exist. This country has taken so much from black folks and has a debt it owes because for over 400 years into this very day, this country has stolen black labor, black lives, black futures. Industries were built and maintained through the subjugation of black people in this country, and wealth was built and maintained through the discriminatory policies that still plague us to this day. And to be clear, some people directly benefited from it or are direct beneficiaries of it. We have systems that create and perpetuate imbalances and balances in our society, and you either benefit from it or you are disenfranchised by it. And black people continue to be disenfranchised and harmed by these systems. Others receive advantages from it.
I mean, she is correct in the fact that the government uses money to steal from some to give the other. Technically speaking, you look at who makes the most money in the United States, Indian Americans or, not Native American, Indians, Asians, they actually make the most, I believe, per family in the United States, then Caucasians or whites, then African Americans. But the government literally steals from the rich to give to the poor. Now let's see if we can slow down her speech a little bit. We'll do a point, 3/4 speed. So she is slightly, debatably we'll hear her better, more articulately, perhaps.
A duty to repair. So let's make it clear.
Oh, geez Louise, it's still a little fast. Do half speed.
There is a debt that does exist. This country has taken so much from black folks and has a debt it owes because for over 400 years into this very day, this country has stolen black labor, black lives, black futures. Industries were built and maintained through the subjugation of black people in this country, and wealth was built and maintained through the discriminatory policies that still plague us to this day. And to be clear,
I thought we just got rid of affirmative action. Haha, that's not what she's talking about. Though that is the definition of discrimination.
Some people directly benefited from it or are direct beneficiaries of it. We have systems that create and perpetuate imbalances and balances in our society.
Oh, we do. We had the single mother benefits from the U.S. government, which after the U.S. government started to incentivize single motherhood, the rate of single motherhood in the United States more than 4x in the African American community. Actually, all communities, though the biggest increase percentage rate was in the African American community after the government started to incentivize it. So that's definitely not what she's referring to, but that is true. The government actually has especially they just destroyed the nuclear family by incentivizing that to exist.
And you either benefit from it or you are disenfranchised by it. And black people continue to be disenfranchised and harmed by these systems. Others receive advantages from it.
Let's see. Maybe we can afford to pay that amount. Oh, wait, we can't. Not just morally, but the U.S. debt clock is at $36.8 trillion. That's insane. Jeez Louise. $36.8 trillion, I would argue, because of the ineptitudes and or corruption of Democrats and Republicans, and especially useless rhinos. Now, this is probably one of the most controversial political, cultural things in the United States is the topic of reparations. And, well, it's not just unrealistic because, again, we're trillions in debt. We have no money to pay it, even if we had. I mean, there's literally no money for that. Also, it's immoral since a lot of the people are not directly connected or benefit from slavery. My family came from Cuba legally. And no, we actually didn't swim. Fun fact, we flew. But nevertheless, it's one of the things where why should our tax dollars pay for that? We never benefited from it. I mean, it's immoral, I would argue. And it's also, are they going to go to the people who sold the slaves over in Africa? Are they going to go after them? People keep forgetting the U.S. was one of the first nations on the planet to actually end slavery. It's actually sad that there's actually more slavery now than there was back then, but now it's over across the sea, so liberals don't seem to care about it. Now, this has got about 360,000 views and 4.6 thousand likes. One of the first comments comes to us thanks to Based Electrician, who says, quote, "That's fine as long as we can charge a fee for when they use anything built or invented by whites," getting 11 likes, which would be a lot of things. Paul Zupa says, quote, "So when was this woman a slave? Oh yeah, never," getting 605 likes. It's even crazier when you think places like California want to do reparations, where California was they never had slavery ever in California. And yet they're saying taxpayers should have more money stolen from them to give people who were never slaves in California. What? Although that is not logical, but it is California logic, if that's the thing. The Democrat Media TM says, quote, "And just like that, they again know, quote, quote, what a black job means. Remember, they forget during the presidential election and kept saying Trump was racist for saying black jobs," getting 79 likes. The Democrat Media TM says, quote, "This meme is perfect in describing the Democrats 100%. It's Bob Ross doing a painting. It's the cliche gal that broke down and cried when Trump was elected the first time. He says, right here," I don't know if it could really do his voice, but I will attempt. "See that bush right over there? Now, let's just add a little bitter liberal white bitch over there." You got 49 likes. The Democrat Media TM also says, "We are beyond fatigued," getting 60 likes. Gerald Pierce says, "I never understood how forcing people who had never anything to do with slavery to give money to people that have never experienced slavery is going to solve anything," getting 2.1 thousand likes, which, no, I suspect it is cause further animus and cause further race tensions in the United States. Or again, I mean, I think if you want to talk about the topic or the cultural, political topic of race relations, I think it kind of peaked and then right before Barack Obama was elected, and a lot of people then appropriately called him the divider in chief. I mean, I always tell people in the business world, I'm a big fan of the theory that capitalism defeated racism decades ago. Because again, if you want to build the best business, you take all the applications, you want to get the best of the best, and you do that by accepting, again, the larger sample size, which is everyone. Now, Deplorable also says the pandering is wild. They're posturing for midterms. They're trying to get black votes. 219 likes. And yeah, while I don't agree with this deplorable politician is doing, it makes sense. There are people who truly believe that reparations will be a thing. Even though, again, we cannot afford it. It would, in my opinion, make a lot of things worse. But there are people who will vote because they think it'll happen. And again, Republicans do this too. They say, oh yeah, we're going to get your gun rights back. Where are they, Republicans? We have the House, the White House, and the Senate. Look at my watch here. Still nothing. I'm especially bitter about the NFA Act of 1934, which is why you have to pay a $200 extortion tax if you want to buy things like suppressors, short-barrel rifles, short-barrel shotguns, machine guns, destructive devices. The government said at the time, oh yeah, you can have your rights, but you get to tax you for it. Which at the time, a suppressor was $7, so they put a $200 tax on a $7 item, thereby destroying the whole industry and stealing away people's rights for almost 100 years, until inflation, the one time did help us. Now it's easier to afford. Yeah, let's just say $200 back then. I did the math. Well, I used an inflation calculator. It's about $4,500 now. Republicans say they're very pro-gun, and yet they just skirted a vote that would have gotten rid of that $200 tax stamp because they're useless rhinos. But again, Republicans pander too. They say, oh yeah, we love our gun rights. We got to give them gun rights. And again, we've had some strides, don't get me wrong. But in terms of big, like getting our rights back, I've yet to see it. So again, this some people are critiquing this gal for pandering. Again, she is. That's unfortunately part of politics. And this will get her votes. They'll get her donations. I mean, they have a successful track record of that. I believe it. But let me know. Do you think this type of methodology is still effective? I mean, it's worked for decades. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.